This is 5 on your side at 10. Focused on you.
A woman is now in jail and charged in a hit and run that killed a St. Louis teen last month. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. The 16-year-old victim died last month after a hit and run crash near Dr. Martin Luther King and Vandevetter in North City. New tonight, Robert Townsend has reaction from his grief-stricken mother about the suspect's arrest.
Not a day goes by that Tanisha Sharp does not think about her son, 16-year-old King Thompson.
It's like a piece is missing from me. I have not been the same.
Sharp says on January 8th, her son and his best friend walked to a neighborhood gas station for snacks. The boys headed down Dr. Martin Luther King Drive near Vandevetter.
Ice and snow outside, and you kind of had to walk in the street. So the car just came out of nowhere.
Police have now arrested 21-year-old Mania Smith. She's charged with felony leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, involuntary manslaughter, and tampering with physical evidence. Paramedics rushed Thompson to a hospital with multiple injuries, including a head injury and rib fractures. He was released from the hospital on January 11th, but died the next day on his mother's 35th birthday.
I'm thankful that justice will be, served because they caught the person.
Tears stream down the heartbroken mom's face as she mourns her son who dreamed of going to Job Corps and studying finance.
I would never have any grandbabies. I would never be called grandma or granny. He was my only child.
According to a probable cause statement on January 8th, Smith went to a bar and drank at least 4 liquor drinks before getting into her car. Investigators say after the hit and run, Smith hid her vehicle under a cover. Police say she later confessed to hitting Thompson and told officers where her car was hidden. So at this point, Smith remains in jail. When she goes to court, King Thompson's mom vows she'll be there for every hearing, and she'll do it for her son.
He was my king. I'm going.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
2 men accused in a Collinsville murder-for-hire plot appeared in court today. Gary Johnson is charged with shooting and killing Portia Rowland outside her home last month. Police say Marty Shaw was his getaway driver. Both pleaded not guilty in the shooting death of Rowland. They're due back in court February 18th. 3 teens are facing charges for involvement in a double shooting in Dupo, Illinois, that left a man dead Monday. The shooting happened around 11:30 a.m. Police say 18-year-old Bryce Rhodes was with his father, Cody Rhodes, trying to illegally sell a gun. The 2 other suspects, 16-year-old Kingston Todd and a 15-year-old, tried to pay for the gun using counterfeit cash. Those 2 then fired shots hitting Cody Rhodes. The 15-year-old was also shot. As all this played out, Dupo schools went under lockdown.
One of the suspects was able to get pretty close to the Bluffview Elementary School here in town. That precautionary step that was put into place played a great role for safety of the children. I think there's multiple families here in a community that obviously doesn't see this type of crime. I think there's a lot of people that's involved, and it's a tragedy.
Both Todd and the 15-year-old are charged with first-degree murder and felony firearm possession. We are identifying Todd because he's charged as an adult. Rhodes is facing charges for trying to illegally sell a gun and hiding it in his backpack. New reaction tonight into a former St. Louis firefighter who was convicted for stealing a victim's wallet after a fatal car crash. We've learned the city has rehired Arnold Britt, but this time to work in a different capacity. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon explains the mixed reaction following that decision.
It was a devastating crash back in February of 2023 at Forest Park Avenue and South Grand Boulevard.
It wasn't just an accident, it was deaths.
That's Seven Robinson. He was 18 at the time, the only teen to survive the crash. He also lost his wallet, which investigators later said this man, Arnold Britt, a then city firefighter, stole from the scene.
The times that he swiped my card were at 6 o'clock in the morning of the accident, the day of the accident, February 26th. So he probably got off work and just went swiping.
Britt later pled guilty to stealing the wallet and using the credit card inside. Flash forward 2 years later, Britt is now working for the city again, this time as a building inspector in the First Ward.
If I was him, the last place I would want to go back to was public money.
When we contacted the city, we were told the mayor's office does not handle background checks for new hires. An independent department does that. Recent reporting has made us aware that a former employee of the St. Louis Fire Department has been rehired to the building division, despite a pre-existing criminal record, a city spokesperson said. While the city of St. Louis is a proud second-chance employer, we recognize that certain jobs are not appropriate for certain applicants based on prior actions.
He's an intelligent, bright, hardworking young man.
I called Britt's attorney.
He made a mistake, and I am thrilled to see that St. Louis City has given him an opportunity and a second chance, just like we all deserve. And he's going to do a wonderful job.
It's a bad optic. I get that. The microscope's on him.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
The mayor's office says the Department of Personnel will now update its guidelines when evaluating background checks for positions that require public trust. Sonia Massey's family just reached a $10 million settlement with Sangamon County and the Sheriff's Department. Massey was shot and killed by former Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson last July in her Springfield, Illinois home. Grayson is facing murder charges. The Sangamon County Board still needs to approve the agreement, which will be discussed in a meeting Tuesday. This comes as new legislation was introduced in response to Massey's death. State Senator Doris Turner drafted 2 new bills and says she is trying to keep her promise to Massey's mother.
Every single time I've ever talked to her, she has said, Doris, the only thing I want justice for my baby. If we get this legislation across the finish line, I will go a long way to keeping that promise.
One of the bills would create comprehensive reviews of candidates during the hiring process at the sheriff's office, and the other would allow recalls of countywide elected officials. Those 2 bills now await committee assignments in the Illinois Senate. A hawk caught in a tricky situation. And what makes this bird so rare?
Well, we have weather impact alert days for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. We have 2 waves of measurable snow, we think, for St. Louis. That causes some impacts to travel. We're talking about it and timing it out next.
Five on your side in the Missouri History Museum are teaming up to celebrate the joy, arts, and community of St. Louis's Black history. Lamar Harris is just one of 8 artists you'll meet at a special event on February 20th.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and.
My name is Lamar Harris. I am a trombonist, brass player, DJ, and creative from St. Louis, Missouri. I have a big band called the Georgia May, which is named after my grandmother, and it is one of the things that quietly reminds me about why I do music is just for the love of it. Music is just a way of just expressing the things that I hear inside of my head and feel inside of my heart. I believe that all sound is music, whether it be silence, whether it be brass, whether it be lyrics, and it's just a way of just expressing just how you really feel. I enjoy the process of just creating good music, whether it be for dance, whether it be for theater, whether it be in any genre of music that I just feel that resonates with me in that moment in time. And when we're on stage, we're just trying to just get people just to, I call it, come to your happy place. You know, problems and everything is going to always be there in the world, but when we're here performing and you have the music just flowing, just let it just be natural for you and just relieve your problems there for a moment and just get inside of what's happening right then and there inside of the sounds. That's what we want people to do.
And you are invited to celebrate the joy, arts, and community of St. Louis's Black history. It's Thursday, February 20th at the Missouri History Museum. Happy hour starts at 5. The program is at 6:30. Brent Solomon and I will be there to moderate. The event's free. No registration is required. Today, a rare bird caught And some chicken wire is flying free tonight. The World Bird Sanctuary says the mostly white red-tailed hawk was found in the backyard of a Wentzville home. This particular red tail was mostly white with just a single brown feather, but experts say it is not albino. The National Audubon Society says the hawk likely has a genetic condition called leucism, turning its feathers white but leaving some color in its beak, talons, and that one feather. The hawk was released in St. Peter's after a checkup with the vet. Well, some snow is headed our way early next week. That's going to put us in a weather impact alert, but we also have some showers in the forecast tomorrow, Scott?
Yes, in fact, we have a few raindrops falling right now, but nothing substantial in terms of rainfall. And the snow next week, it's not going to impact any of our weekend flights out at Lambert. It could impact flights later Monday night and into early Tuesday morning, and then again later Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. That's the two time frames that we're looking at here. So we've gone ahead with our weather impact alerts for Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, as we get closer, we fine-tune the timing on that. Here's kind of the timeline of changes we're looking at. Occasional showers for tomorrow morning. You get the damp and wet roads. It's not a lot of rainfall. There's limited sunshine on Sunday, but it turns a little colder. And then by Tuesday, the snow will be winding down in the morning from wave 1 with some accumulation. Wednesday's accumulation is likely to be a little more than what we see out of round 1. And of course, the impacts are to travel. Slick spots are expected. The storms that are going to do this and bring us that unsettled wintry weather, they are still way out here in the Pacific, over 2,000 miles away. They have been producing some heavy snow over the past few days out in California in the high elevations, and eventually this is already one of the systems kind of feeding through here tonight and tomorrow. It's the leading edge. It kind of sets the stage for what's coming after that. These are just a smattering of very light sprinkles and showers. That's pretty much what we have through the overnight hours. As we head into tomorrow morning, a little more widespread on the showers, but all of it's light. By lunchtime, the back edge is approaching St. Louis, and it's out of here tomorrow afternoon. So cloudy skies, morning showers, clouds in the afternoon, low 40s for highs for most of us tomorrow. On Sunday, still mostly cloudy, not getting much sunshine this weekend, a little colder back in the 30s. We jump into Monday. This is Monday night. Snow's breaking out across southern Missouri, trying to nudge into St. Louis during the overnight, but then pushing out early on Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, not much happening. We go into Wednesday. By the afternoon hours, a larger area of snow heads our way, and that is going to bring our accumulations, the most of the accumulations that we see into St. Louis. It's 37 degrees right now in St. Louis. Temperatures hold steady tonight, only to about 43 degrees for tomorrow, 38 on Sunday, 39 on Monday. Your weather impact alerts, and we'll be tracking all weekend into early next week for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Keep that snow away.
It's not going to be like the beginning of January.
Thank goodness. All right. Thanks, Scott. Thanks so much for joining us. Now here's Corey Miller and Annie Crawl with 5 on your sideline.